Matthew here from MiniWargaming.com, bringing you another Beat Matt Bat Rep.
We works here to play. Mini Wargaming's Beat Matt Bat Rep.
And yes, again, it's Necrons, but this time it's not me playing Necrons. Dan here has brought his Necron army to face off against my Tyranid army. So it's going to be 1,750 points, but we're going to change it up a bit, and we're going to play a game of Planetstrike, because we love Planetstrike. Planetstrike is a lot of fun. And so the Necrons are going to be the defenders, and the Tyranids are going to be the attackers. So let's jump right into it. Let's take a look at the armies as well as the scenario. Oh, and one other thing, don't forget that if you want to challenge myself, Dave, or not this Dan, but the new Dan for Mini Wargaming, that you email us so that you can set up the game, because we're always looking for more opponents. So if you want to challenge me, email Matthew@miniwargaming.com. If you want to challenge the other Dan, then email Dan@miniwargaming.com. And for Dave, I think it's just Dave@miniwargaming.com if I have it right. Anyway, let's jump into the game, take a look at the armies as well as the scenario.
Let's take a look at Dan's defending Necrons. So remember that as a defending player, you can bring up to 6 heavy support. But in this case, I think it still just matches the force organization chart, but it's troop and heavy support heavy. Leading the entire army is an Overlord with a War Scythe and Resurrection Orb, and the Phase Shifter, and he's with a group of Lich Guard with Dispersion Shields and the swords. We got another Overlord over here, just with the regular Staff of Light. And then we've got 2 Lords. The other one is a Cryptek, but it's proxying as a Lord, and they're going to be with 9 Warriors, and they're going to man some of the Bastions. And we got 2 groups of 5 Death Marks meant to come in to snipe monstrous creatures. And then we have 2 Necron Monoliths. And so those are going to be tough for Tyranids. And then we've got an Annihilation Barge as well, which is also tough because it's armor 13 on the front and 11 on the back, until it takes its first penetrating hit. So that is his army. Taking a look at my attacking Tyranids. Remember, with attacking, you can have up to 6 elite and 6 fast attack. I'm not sure if I went beyond the normal 3, but we'll see in a second. And so I decided to go a little different. I got the Parasite of Mortrex. This is a warrior being proxied for that. I've never actually played with that model before. It's the one that creates Ripper Swarms when it kills guys. I got 2 groups of Shrikes. So these are actually winged warriors being proxied by regular warriors. And they have Rending Claws and Scything Talons. And then we've got 2 groups of Gargoyles, because I'm attacking, so I need to bring fast attack. We got a group of 15 and 14. Got a group of Yumgirl Gene Stealers, 10 of them, because that's an elite choice. So I wanted to make sure I packed up my elites with fast attack as much as possible. Got a Venom Thrope, or Pyrovore, sorry. I wish I had 2 more of those, because they're very effective against Necrons, especially in Bastions. We got a Doom of Malantai and a Mycetic Spore. 2 groups of Hormagaunts, groups of 20 of them with Toxin Sacs and Adrenal Glands. So that'll be nice against the regular warriors and immortals. And we've got a Trigon Prime, who's meant to be a monolith or bastion killer. Unfortunately, I didn't give him Adrenal Glands, which I should have. So that is my attacking army. Now in Planetstrike, the defender completely sets up the board however he likes, but the number of bastions that he puts on the board is the number of objectives, so you have to keep that in mind. The bastions are armor 14 all around, and you can have your guys sit inside with just a couple fire points, or you can have them up top. They're still considered inside, but they can fire as if it's open-topped. But then you do get a +1 to the damage chart. The defender also just deploys, always, and the attacker always goes first. There's no stealing initiative, not in this one, thankfully. And basically, before he deploys, I choose which table edge I'm going to come on. And I'm going to be coming on from the left of the screen, right here. So he's basically facing, the monoliths are facing the table edge that I'll be coming on. And that way I can get as close as possible. But that is a lot of armor for me to get through. There's a lot of armor 14, which Tyranids have a hard time with. And so I'm hoping that my Trigon and the Yumgirl Gene Stealers are going to be able to help out with that. But we're definitely going to have to wait and see. So this is his deployment. The warriors inside the bastions, the immortals and death marks in reserves, and the Lich Guard as well. He's going to use the monoliths to pull those in, and the death marks can deep strike, of course. And now it's time for the Firestorm. So I get D6 plus 2, because he has 2 bastions, Firestorms, and we roll a 6. We always seem to manage to roll 5s or 6s for that. So these are Strength 9 AP3 templates. First one's a direct hit on the Annihilation Barge, which fails to do anything. It does not penetrate. Second one's a direct hit on the Annihilation Barge. It fails to do anything. The third one scatters off and doesn't really hit anything. It does half damage, but that's not enough. Third one scatters back, and it goes and gets a direct hit on the Bastion, which manages a penetrating hit, and I roll a 1. So it cannot shoot, which is a big deal because he actually upgraded that one with an asset that gives it a battle cannon on top. The fourth one scatters off and nothing significant. The next one hits a monolith and manages a penetrating hit, and does nothing. It basically shakes him, but then he ignores it with his living metal. The next one scatters off, so I'm not having much success with these Firestorms whatsoever. The next one hits the same monolith again, fails to penetrate or even glance. So all I managed to do is shake the one Bastion, which, you know, is not nothing, but it's also not something. We got the Shrikes here. The one group of Shrikes is coming in on 3+. Reserves come in first turn. So the Gargoyles not coming in. Other group of Gargoyles coming in. They have the Parasite and Mortrex attached to them. We got the Umgarl Genestealers who are going to come in. We've got the Pyrovore who will come in. We've got the Doom of Malantai, who I'm hoping won't come in because there's nobody out in the open yet, and he won't, thankfully. First group of Hormagaunts will not come in. The second group of Hormagaunts do come in, and hopefully the Trigon comes in because he's my bunker buster, and I roll a 1 for him. So the Gargoyles are going to try to come in at this point, and they do get a direct hit. And the Shrikes just scatter a little bit. The Shrikes have no targets to really go after at this point. The Pyrovore comes in the Mycetic Spore. The nice thing about him is he can shoot into the Bastion. That's the rules, that you basically, whenever you put a Flamer template onto an access point, then you hit D6 models inside with your weapon. And so since it's Strength 5, AP 4, it's a really good warrior killer. The Hormagaunts are just coming in and running up. They're providing a screen for the Umgarl Genestealers behind them. So they'll be out in the open, but the Genestealers will have cover against most of his weapons. And then in the shooting phase, the Shrikes are going to run and spread out so that there's no insta-killing blast that'll hit them. Pyrovore fires in and hits 5 of the warriors inside. Strength 5, so I managed to kill 4 of them, but they might still come back. And since they're inside a Bastion, they don't have to roll to see if they run. And so we got 4 of them there, and 2 of them stand back up. So I only managed to kill 2, but that's 2 less rapid-firing weapons. Parasite is going to charge into the Bastion. I have one of the stratagems that basically lets me hurt guys on the inside, but I forgot to use that stratagem this turn, so I'll have to use it in the next turn. So, heading into Necron's turn 1, rolling for reserves for him. The Immortals don't come in. The Lich Guard do come in. We've got one group of Deathmarks does not come in, and the other group does. Now, he does have the Monolith that he could pull guys in from reserves who don't normally come in. The Deathmarks do arrive. The Lich Mark are going to arrive through the Monolith. And he's going to use the other Monolith to bring in the Immortals. And so he's able to kind of play through that. He doesn't have to worry about his reserve rolls quite as much because of the Monoliths. But the Lich Guard do count as having come out of, or disembarked out of a moving vehicle. And so they do not get to charge into my guys. So they're just going to provide a shield wall. Deathmarks choose the Parasite as his prey, so the group that he's part of also get wounded on 2+ as per the FAQ. And they manage to rapid fire in there and kill 4 of the Gargoyles. We forgot to do the heavy bolters from the Bastions first. They're supposed to fire first. They have a Blessed skill of 2, and they have to fire at the nearest target. So manages to kill a Gargoyle with that. Actually manages to wound the Spore Pod with that, and the other one's going to fire at the Hormagaunts and manage to kill one of them as well. The other Bastion doesn't get to fire because it is currently shaken, which is kind of nice, because that's a lot less firepower that he gets this turn. 1 less battle cannon. Essentially kind of upgraded it to another Monolith, because it's a Strength 8 blast as well. The guys inside rapid fire at the Pyrovore and manage to kill him completely. We get a Monolith firing its cannon, hoping to insta-kill the Shrikes, but it scatters off and instead kills about 4 or 5. We got 4. Yeah, 4 of the Hormagaunts go down. The second one gets a direct hit and insta-kills one of them. I did get a cover save against it, and kills 2 of the Hormagaunts as well. Then the Tesla cannon from the Annihilation Barge rolls 3 6s, which means it gets 9 hits, and it kills a bunch of the Hormagaunts. So that was a really lucky shot, rolling those 3 6s there. Tesla weapons, whenever you roll a 6, they do 2 extra hits. And this one happens to arc off to every unit within 6 inches. So he hits the Genestealers as well for D6 Strength 5 hits and manages to kill one of them. And then it arced the Immortals as well, but missed them. The Immortals then rapid fire into the Hormagaunts. So those Hormagaunts are taking a thrashing. 3 more of them die. And then in close combat, I get to hit the Bastion again with my Parasite of Mortrex, which unfortunately doesn't do any damage to the Bastion yet again. Just like it did do in the first turn for the Tyranids. So end of round 1, you can see the Tyranids are already mounting their assaults, but Necrons have taken very light casualties. I've taken a few casualties of Gargoyles, and a lot of Hormagaunts have died, and a Genestealer and a Shrike as well. So the Necrons definitely have inflicted more damage. Hopefully, though, I can crack through a couple of their Armor 14 fortresses there and start chewing on the creamy, chewy insides. Well, they're kind of metallic, so not really creamy. Anyways, Click on the annotation for round 2, or if you're on Mini Wargaming, click the link below, and don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment who you think is going to win.